Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The current Warzone meta obviously features a bunch of pretty solid guns. We've covered a handful of them over the course of the past few weeks since the Season 6 update, but there are a few standouts when it comes specifically to time to kill, the fastest TTK weapons in the game. Some of these are a bit more obvious weapons that you'll see consistently at the top of the meta, right? A few others are a bit more surprising. Some higher skill gap options, which is what makes them, so fast to kill at times, because they're more difficult to use. You got to put in some more work to actually make them as efficient as possible. But today I wanted to break down the new best 5 options for TTK that you can be rocking right now, starting first with an obvious one, quite frankly, the AMAX. We know this thing's been an absolute meta rifle for a while now, and it continues to get better and better, and its TTK is insane right now. All these stats are courtesy of true game data, so they are tried, true, and tested here. And at 45 meters, prime like long range territory, really 716 millisecond TTK. Obviously, accuracy is going to adjust things with that value as you get into actual gameplay, but this thing has the potential to just shred everyone. So first up, you're going to want to use whatever optic you're the most comfortable with. For me, it's going to be that Oturo red dot. I got compensator on here for better control, just going to make life a lot easier here for me, and really everyone for that matter. Reinforced barrel for the better range of velocity. We got 1125 velocity, 63 meter effective damage range. Those are phenomenal stats there. Vertical foregrip helping out the horizontal control, so we're getting a lot of benefit to the control across the board, vertically and horizontally. The pattern is going to be a lot more predictable now, so you can land shots and get that fast TTK. And then just extended 2 on here for the 60 rounder. That's going to work fine for all squad sizes. You can also upgrade to gunfighter if you wanted to throw on recoil springs, a mobility stock, quick draw rear grip, something of that nature. Even with 5 attachments though, this thing is phenomenal. Next up, I didn't realize this one is as good as it is, but the PML 556 kind of goes crazy, and it's kind of like the Bruin 2.0 here. According to true game data, at 47 meters, a 733 millisecond TTK, and this thing doesn't have like super severe drop-offs, which is really nice too. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. It's got that faster fire rate, the recoil is a little bit more noticeable, but if you can get that under control, you spend some time in the firing range, you're shooting some bots and plunder, or you're just warming up in game, this thing can also rip, which is really, really fun. And it's a unique choice here, one that we haven't talked about too much this year. Oturo red dot for me, yet again, no surprises there. Monolithic suppressor for the better range and velocity. We're up just over 1,000 velocity here with that, and then an 83 meter effective damage range. Vertical foregrip, you definitely want in here to help make that recoil pattern a lot more predictable there. Fast mag 1 gives it sort of that Bruin-esque feel. Still a 50 rounder, which works fine in my opinion. And then recoil springs yet again for some more recoil control. Once more, if you wanted to upgrade to gunfighter, throw on a reinforced barrel for some better range and velocity, and infiltrator stock, a rear grip for a better ADS. Totally viable there. Even with 5 attachments though, it'll still feel great, especially once you start to learn how this weapon behaves. And by the way, as we are breaking down the best TTK weapons here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the info helpful, do me a favor, drop a like. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you're always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Like I said at the start, a lot of high skill gap weapons find their way onto these lists as we've covered them, pretty in depth throughout the year. Things like the Tempus Torrent, which can be absolutely insane, but require a lot of patience to do well with. You really got to learn how to spam this thing fast, maintain accuracy while doing so though. If you can do it effectively at 40 meters, a 570 millisecond TTK, which is absurd. Like, this thing's got such insane potential. It's also just incredibly difficult to reach that potential. Really good players can. More average players might want to resort to, a full auto weapon that's going to be a little bit more straightforward, but that's why their TTKs are so fast in this case. It takes a lot of work to use it effectively. So for the optic, preference here. For me, I like the Night Model 2023. Spirit Fire Suppressor for some better range and some better velocity on there. We got a 1088 velo and then a 20 meter effective damage range, but the drop off beyond that is super, super minimal. I also go for the Bow Breaker Grip, giving us some better stability and control. Definitely necessary here as we are spamming this. It's going to have very noticeable recoil. 50 round extended mag, so we can just spray and pray. And even if you're not hitting the first few shots, you got plenty of time to, make up ground, and you got a nice safety net there. And then lastly, I do like high grain ammo. It builds into that velocity and range stat as well for what it's worth. I wish we could rock gunfighter on this. If we could, this thing would be even more insane and a lot more usable from like a more average or above average player standpoint, but you know what you're doing with this thing. Good luck to the rest of the lobby. Another one that is surprisingly insanely good, the AEK Marksman with the full auto mod equipped. The full auto on this thing goes insane. At 40 meters, a 603 millisecond TTK. Now, The full auto mod kicks like crazy, although it's a very straightforward pattern because it's basically straight vertical, so you can counter it. You just got to do a lot of work to counter it by pulling straight back. It's a lot more noticeable than even some of the other more basic vertical patterns in the game, but it being vertical makes it a lot easier than having something with a bunch of horizontal bounce. So most important part of this setup is going to be that full auto mod that gives it this fast TTK here. Use whatever optic you want here. For me, it's going to be the Jason Armory 2 times in this case. Definitely want the compensator to attack some of that vertical control. I do like reinforced barrel on here. We get just over 1,000 velocity, nearly a 52 meter effective damage range. Vertical foregrip helps out the horizontal control. While there's not a lot of it, this basically ensures that this pattern will go straight up, and all you got to do is pull straight back, and you're going to be able to be very accurate with this thing. You only get one extended mag option. Luckily, it's a 60 rounder, so that's going to work great for all squad sizes. Then I do like the quick draw rear grip on here, just adding in some mobility, and then infiltrator stock for the better strafe as well, so you're a little bit more snappy and aggressive with each of those on there. But yeah, I was surprised at just how fast this thing ends up frying enemies if you can land your shots, which luckily is not too difficult to do so by comparison. And then lastly here, because there's a good chance this is the final best TTK video of the year for Black Ops 6 Warzone, we had to throw it back to a mainstay in this series, and I'm glad that it's been here in so many fast TTK videos, the MCW 6.8. This is one of my favorite marksmans, one of my favorite semi-auto guns in the game. It was back in MW3 as well when it had like the absurd hit scan build. This thing, again, higher skill gap because it is semi-auto. You got to spam fast. You got to be able to stay on target. But at 53 meters, 743 millisecond TTK, like this thing's potential is insane as well. And it still has a pretty crazy velocity stat for what it's worth. So here I like the 2.5 times Eagle Eye Optic, again, just a matter of preference. Spirit Fire Suppressor, better range and velocity. The Crown 30 Barrel, better range, velocity, stability, recoil control, idle sway. Like it's doing everything for it. You'll love to see that. And then these Spire Point rounds are really solid for velocity and range as well. We got a 1300 velo, a 53 meter effective damage range. It's almost like a point and click type weapon. It's going to feel like it's that in the vast majority of your fights. It's going to feel hit scan like, which is really cool. And it's got a 60 round extended mag, so you can spray and pray with this thing. Miss a couple of shots, you're not going to have to worry about stopping, reloading, potentially getting taken out in the middle of that animation. You got a massive safety net here as you are spamming this thing and hopefully achieving that fast TTK. All these options though are a ton of fun, and I like the variety here. You got some meta mainstays and like the AMAX, some full auto choices, some fun semi-auto choices here. Far from all of the fast TTK options, but a few that I wanted to highlight here today. That's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out to stay up to date with everything going on. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.